video review brought to you by your host, D. Casanova. Now, what do I have here? Yes, they are Transformers, and some of you older fans might recognize these guys. Younger fans, not so much. But for those uninitiated, these guys are both from the Energon series. This is Energon Ironhide and Energon Jetfire. And not to rip off Bert The Stormtrooper, but I love these toys. Yes, they're not just action figures, they're toys. And they are definitely lots of fun for the likes of me, so. Now, which vehicle shall I look at first? I got it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. My mother told me to pick the very best one, and you are it. Okay, so we'll take a look at Jetfire first. And that was not supposed to happen yet. Well, I'll get to that in a moment. Anyway, so let's take a look at Jetfire first. Much like the Armada Jetfire before him, this Jetfire is also a space shuttle. Although I'm pretty sure Astrotrain would be pissed instead of flattered by the imitation. But Astrotrain was in G1, so this is the Energon series, and I don't think Astrotrain showed up in the Energon series. Maybe he did and I missed him. I haven't watched the entire Energon series in a while, so anyway. Now, his colors are this maroon, gray, white, and some orange. We also have some blue up here on these vents. Come underneath. We have this translucent orange weapon down here, which, again, I'll talk about in a moment. Coming to the back, we've got thrusters! And on both sides of the tail fin up here, we have the Autobot logo. However, this Autobot logo is of the Power Links symbol, so yes, he does have the capacity to Power Link. Although that may be given away by these clips right here. Also, just like the Armada Jetfire, he also has Minicom ports right here and there. And much like other Energon figures, he has a star port with his faction symbol. And the star ports are where you could stick Energon stars if you have them. In Jetfire's case, as you can tell by the tail fin, it's the Autobot logo. So, now, take a look at the cockpit here. This is some really nice detailing. I have no idea who came up with that design, but I gotta give him kudos, because I could never, ever imagine something like that. And if you look back at this weapon down here again, you may notice that it's a translucent vermilion, I think it is. It's a reddish orange. And we have that same translucent plastic for the windshield on the cockpit itself. So that's nice. And if we look under here once again, you may notice wheels. So yes, he does have landing gear, and he can roll really well, as rolling things should. So, I think the Titanium Ultra Magnus could take a few pointers from this guy. Okay, so I think that's enough of the vehicle itself. Now, let's take a look at his weapon. Take it off. This thing has actually two triggers. One up here, and one down here. Now, the one down here is the one that you use in robot mode, but the one up here, it correlates, or it corresponds with the actual cockpit. But if we also take another look at the weapon, some people may notice that it resembles a satellite dish. Or, not a dish, but just a regular satellite. I'm not sure if that's the most appropriate weapon for a space shuttle, but I dig it. I dig it. And of course, I did mention that the trigger up here is the one you use in robot mode, and if you push either trigger, the missile will fire, as you saw before. And let's plug this back in. Now, if you want to launch the missile in this mode, you could accidentally hit this trigger like I did earlier, or there's also a button on top of the cockpit, and if you push that, the missile will still fire. There we go. So, I think that's enough of Jetfire's vehicle mode. Now let's take a look at Ironhide's. Now, Ironhide in this iteration is a blue off-road pickup truck of sorts. Okay. Now, he's primarily blue, but he does have orange up here, and he's also got this, yellowy beige, odd color scheme from the Ironhide that I know and love, but I dig it. I dig it. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure this was the creative basis for the movie Ironhide. And this could also explain why the off-road Ironhide from the Allspark movie line was a blue truck instead of a red truck like the G1. Anyway, we do have some, silvery gold, I think it is. Well, we got some silvery, gold shiny paint for the windshield and these back side windows, and I'm guessing that the only reason these have no windows is because we could imagine like the front has the windows rolled down. I don't know, but on each side of the vehicle we do have gas tanks, but on the driver's side we have the gas cap. Nice. And on the back here, we have a mini con port, just like Jetfire. And, like I mentioned earlier, all Energon figures, or most of them anyway, have this Energon starport with their faction symbol in it, and just like Jetfire, Ironhide has the Autobot logo in it. And he also has the Autobot Power Link symbol in it, on this side. Anyway. So, we do have a couple of guns up here. This one is just purely decorative. It doesn't really do much of anything. And on this side, we actually have a missile launcher, but if you take a look here, the missile launcher is actually crooked. But that's actually not a bad thing. That's actually accurate to the show, because in the show, Ironhide's shot a little crooked. And this gun also activates lights and sounds, or at least it would. The batteries in my figure are dead, so yeah. Unfortunate, but oh well. I don't really need lights and sounds. This whole thing can turn and rotate, and if you pull back on this weapon, as you can see, it has a missile in it, and it will in fact fire. There. So, now, I only have one problem with this vehicle. His robot head is just right there. I hate that. But it's not really a huge detriment to the entire vehicle. Yes, he does have visible head syndrome, but it's also attached to this thing which has electronics in it, and it's actually better that the electronics are up here instead of in the actual figure itself, so, yeah, it's a necessary sacrifice. I still wish the head would have been hidden, but considering that the sacrifice it has to make, I can forgive it. And besides, it's attached to the turret, and, considering that, the turret also gives him head articulation in robot mode, again, it's not a huge detriment. And this being an off-road land vehicle, he does have 4 wheels, and they do roll. Was this one touching the floor? Ah, there we go. I didn't have him transformed all the way. So, yeah. So there they are in vehicle mode. For a size comparison... damn it, I forgot to transform one of the Seekers into jet mode. Shit. But I do have a repaint of an Energon Scout in vehicle mode here. This is movie Air Raid, the movie Scout class Air Raid from 2007. So you can kind of get an idea of the scale here. Now, for those of you not aware, Air Raid here is a repaint of Skyblast from Energon, and I also want to point this out. Skyblast had this locking thing on his jet mode's underside. Jetfire has something similar. I'm guessing it's so he could fly down on a Decepticon, latch onto him, and then fly off. Ball Matrix wonders if this was supposed to be some sort of gimmick where he somehow combines with Optimus Prime, but I do not have the Energon Optimus Prime, so I can't really demonstrate it here, but for those of you who have this and the Energon Optimus Prime, try and see what you can come up with. So, and I just fired the missile. And where did... Oh, wait, I see it. You know what? Maybe I should take the missiles out. Prevent them from getting lost. I swear, I am super clumsy with this missile. Okay, so let's get these guys transformed into robot mode. And since we looked at Jetfire's vehicle mode first, let's transform Jetfire first. Now, Jetfire's transformation is interesting. And, you know the stereotype, robots hanging off of a jet? Well, actually, part of the space shuttle gets incorporated into the robot mode, so... Yeah, this underside here, this is only like 60% of the robots, so... Anyway, so, first things first, you want to take the sides, and you want to... Oh, actually, hold on. First things first, you want to take the thrusters and fold these down, and take the front wheels and fold these back, like that. Then, you can take the sides here, bring them down, and rotate them around. Then, fold the tail fins, or the tail wings back. Then you want to take these sections, and you want to collapse them into the calf, and then fold his foot down. Like that. And now he's standing up. And allow me to adjust my camera. You want to come in here and flip down the robot's head. You want to split these sides. And then you want to turn these up and, okay. There's like a, there's a rectangular peg down here, and then a circular peg up here. The circular peg goes into, this groove in here, and the rectangular peg goes into the slot here. So, plug it in. And fold the cockpit down. Now we're almost done. You want to turn these sides up. Bring the arms down. And then wanna wow, I really plugged these in good. How? There we go. Okay. Basically, you want to try to... okay. You want to open the outer forearms, flip the hands around, and close them. And if you want, you could fold the halves of the tail fin down. So, then we have Energon Jetfire in his robot mode. And, let's make him a lefty. So, there we go. Jetfire in robot mode. Okay, now for Ironhide. How do we transform Ironhide? Well, first things first, you want to grab the front of the vehicle, bring the whole section down, and these are going to be his legs and feet. You want to take the headlights and fold these forward to be the toes, flip the grill and bumper back to be heels, like that. Then you want to take these side doors here, you want to fold these up, split the arms in the back, and you want to bring these forward, turn the forearms forward, then you can separate the legs, and then come to his helmet up here, and fold the upper cranium up to expose his face. And that is Energon Ironhide. Nice. There. Okay. So, as you can see right here, Ironhide is taller than Jetfire. I'm pretty sure in the show these guys were the same height. So, I don't know. But, let's take a look at the aesthetics. Now, Jetfire, he's alright for the most part. I mean, I like him. Except for one thing. Yeah. He's got no neck. Honestly, if they, like, worked in some sort of a hinge so that you could raise the head up higher, that might have made the head look a bit better. But we only have so much room in the cockpit that it might not have actually been possible. So, yeah, we might have been pulling our luck with that. Yeah. We still have this chest gimmick, and it shows some interesting detail. I don't know why, but this inner detail reminds me of Generation 1's Scattershot for some reason. Am I right? Or am I mistaken? Do I need to have my eyes checked? Hit me in the ballsack with a hammer if I'm wrong. Okay, not really. That would hurt. So, yeah. Articulation for Jetfire. The head doesn't really move, except he could technically look up, but that's due to the transformation, so. The shoulders can go all the way around. He's got really stiff ratchets in the shoulders. He's got a ball-jointed elbow, but, it's a little slippery, and, yeah. But he can bend at the elbow, and he can rotate at the bite, or at the lower forearm. Hands don't really do much of anything. Legs, they can go forward, they can go back, they can go out, bend at the knee, turn at the knee, and that's about it. I do like his colors. This isn't the Jetfire that I know and love from G1, or it's not really my ideal design for Jetfire, but I still dig it. Like, I don't like his head, but I don't know. I like him. I like him. Now, Ironhide, we get a bit more red in this mode, as well as more of this yellowy beige. He's still very blue. And his head sculpt, you know what? How about I take this thing off so you can see it a bit better. His head sculpt, it's accurate to the show. I remember these things jutting out of his helmet being a bit longer, but it's still fairly show accurate. And it's a very youthful looking face, which he actually was in the show. He was a youth, very youthful, and okay, I will admit the character was kind of stupid, but he was stupid to the point where it worked, and you couldn't help but love him. So place this back in. Now, both of these can detach, but they cannot fit into his hands. I've tried, but I have not been successful. Oh well. Articulation, well, the head's on the turret, which does rotate, just like in vehicle mode. The shoulders can rotate, but they are limited because the shoulder pads get in the way. They can ratchet out. It's got a ball-jointed elbow, so it can bend and rotate. Legs can go forward, they can go back, they can go out. They can bend at the knee, and they can turn just below the knee. Okay, now, let's do some size comparisons. Yeah, size comparisons. Now, I have an Energon Decepticon here, Scorponok. He may be bigger and wider, but he's actually short. Or, well, he's the same height as Jetfire. Maybe a little shorter. Maybe if I tilt his toes up so he's standing up more straight. Yeah, he's not much taller than Jetfire. I don't have the Energon Optimus Prime, but I do have the much better Cybertron Optimus Prime, who is half a head taller than the Energon Ironhide. I don't have a Megatron from the Unicron trilogy, but I've got animated Shadowblade Megatron, who is a third of a head taller than Ironhide. Okay. I don't have the Energon Hotshot, but I've got the Cybertron Hotshot mold. This is the repaint Excellion. See how they look together. I've got the classic Seeker mold. If I said it once, I'll say it again. This is an awesome figure for a deluxe. With a more recent figure, here they are with the Transformers Prime RC. And I kind of like to think of this as like a Chromia figure. I don't know. But Yeah, she is half of Ironhide's height. Speaking of Ironhide, I have the Universe Ironhide right here. And again, he's half the size of the Energon Ironhide. And I'm going to place that here because I don't have the Classics Jetfire proper, but I do have the Treadbolt repaint of the Classics Jetfire mold. And the Energon Jetfire is actually a whole head taller, so this is what $25 got you in 2006, 2008. This is what $20 got you in what was it? 2004 or was it 2003? Not sure, but yeah. Not sure what happened other than budget cuts and cheaping out, but it is what it is. So, what else can we do with these guys other than transform them to vehicle and robot? Well, if you recall, I said that these were from the Energon line. And I said that they both sport the Power Links symbol somewhere. On Jetfire, it's the right half of his tail fin, which is connected to his right arm. And on Ironhide, it's his left shoulder pad. Or at least, it's his left shoulder pad in robot mode. Which should I do first? I think we'll do the Power Links Jetfire mode first. So, take his gun out, and actually, we'll do Ironhide first, since in the Power Links Jetfire mode, he forms the pants. So, what I like to do is, first, I like to collapse the helmet over his eyes. I like to bring his arms forward and sideways. And then split the whole thing in half and turn it down. Kind of hanging off the bag, but let's raise this up for a little bit. You want to fold the legs around at this hinge here. Bring those around, turn them around, and you want to fold that foot down. And a lot of people forget about this, but you're also supposed to fold that down as well. It was a detail in the show, so why not go with it? And there is Ironhide in pants mode. Gotta get pants, go get your pants, button fly. Okay, now for Jetfire. What do we do? Well, first things first, let's put his head away for the time being. And let's also put his regular hands away. Now, let's return his arms to the vehicle mode configuration. Now, we have a hexagonal hole right here, and we have a peg here. We have a peg up here and a hole there, so you gotta make sure you try to line those up. Flip these down. Okay, now what you want to do now is you want to turn this whole section around like this, then take the robot mode crotch and split it in half. Yeah. That may be disconcerting to someone. Then flip Jetfire's head down. Bring these down. Turn the lower legs around. And flip his heels up to expose the Power Link's fists. Now, I'm not sure what you guys do with yours, but if I remember from the show, I think they raised up to something like this. I think that's what they did. I don't remember too well, but anyway, so Jetfire, Ironhide, Power Links. Oh, right. There we go. And if you want, you can put Jetfire's robot mode gun in the Power Link's hand. And I'm not sure how far down you can fold it, but you could, if you want, fold that space shuttle bit down. But let's see if I can get it back. There we go. In the show, it was just sticking up behind the head, so might as well just go with that. There we go. My arms are tired. Anyway, so here we have the Power Link's Jetfire mode, or if you're watching the series in Japan, Super Link Starfire. Yeah. When you come to the back, it just gets a little busy. If you want, you could fold Jetfire's regular robot arms down and have these be like something of a jetpack. If you can get the angles right. I mean, jeez. And I'm not sure what it is with mine. If he seems to be leaning too far forward or too far back. The Jetfire shirt is a bit on the busy side. And I gotta agree with Ball Matrix in the sense that I think the Ironhide legs work very well for a combined mode. But there is a lot going on from the side and from the back. I mean, there is a whole lot going on. But I still dig it. I think combining an off-road truck with a space shuttle, it gives you the advantages of aerial and ground tactics or something. I don't know. Anyway. Now, let's switch these guys around. That's right. We're going to turn Jetfire into the pants now. So to do that, we're going to once again return this whole section back to how it would be in vehicle mode, but leave Jetfire's robot legs as they are. Okay, so here we go, and there. Bring these back together. Now, what you want to do here, you want to extend these whole things down and flip these back out, like how they would be in vehicle mode. Come on. There. Okay. Now, once again, you can split these and turn these down against the shuttle cockpit. You can also bring these down to be like a jetpack, as I mentioned earlier. And that's Jetfire's pants mode. Now, for Ironhide shirt mode, you can flip his helmet back up. Let's bring these back like this. And I'm going to peg these back together for the time being. Oh, jeez. Sorry, my right arm is getting sleepy. Anyway. Let's split all this out. And we have 2 holes here and there. And we got 2 little pegs there. So squeeze those in. Fold these up. And there we go. And power legs. Oops. There we go. Power legs, Ironhide. Or Super Link Roadbuster. So, and just like with Jetfire, you can place the Jetfire gun in the Power Link's hand. I don't know. I mean, I think this works. Honestly, I like the Ironhide arms, and I like the Jetfire legs. But I have this feeling that I didn't do something right. Maybe it's that? Maybe I forgot to do that? Yeah, that looks a bit nicer. Yeah, that could have been it. Yeah, I like it. Oh, I forgot to do this in the Power Link's Jetfire mode. Ah, dang it. But at least I can do it here. So, it's not too late. Let's compare him with the Combiner Wars Menasor. Let's see, I'm trying to make sure that these guys don't fall over. and from where I'm looking at them, it looks like Menasor is just a whole head taller. So, yeah, these guys combined are almost as tall as a Scramble City Combiner from 2015. So there is that. Here they are with a combiner from Robots in Disguise. Nice. Nice. And also from Robots in Disguise, Fire Convoy in Super Mode. And oh my god, they're actually the same height in these forms, so yeah. Whoa. Jeez. Oh, right. There's the problem I forgot about. These heels from Jetfire, they're not exactly stiff. They're a little on the loose side. So you're gonna want to watch out for that. Yeah. You definitely want to watch out for that. Also, let's compare him with Scorponok again. Yeah. That's kind of extreme. And here they are back with Cybertron Optimus in his basic robot mode. So we also got that. So yeah. Now, I like these guys, and when I originally got Ironhide, I knew that I had to get Jetfire too, and honestly, neither of them have disappointed. Like, I went expecting one thing, I bought them, and I wound up getting so much more than what I expected, and honestly, I love these guys. These guys are fun. And I consider myself extremely fortunate that I managed to find these guys, and for good prices. And these weren't very far from the original Voyager price. So I still got them for around 20 bucks a piece. So that's awesome. Turn this up. Flip. And on. There. And there. Okay. Now, the scale between these two guys, I think, is a bit off, because I'm pretty sure as a space shuttle, Jetfire should be much, much, much bigger. But we are talking about cartoons, and cartoon logic doesn't exactly follow real-life logic. They may reference it from time to time, but it's not exactly the same thing. So it was fitting earlier. Oh. Actually, I think I had them on like that. So yeah. Now, the Energon Ironhide is simple, but that's not exactly a bad thing. Like, a toy can be, like, overly complex and suck to bits. Ironhide is not that case. Ironhide is simple, and he's a lot of fun. He just oozes personality. He oozes fun. And he's also fun to mess around with. I like the Energon Ironhide. The Energon Jetfire, he's a bit more complicated, and he doesn't have, like, a necessarily good-looking, show-accurate head, but I still like him. If you only had to get one of these guys, I would go with Ironhide, so I might have to give him a bit higher score. But Jetfire's not that bad either. He's not the best in the world, but he's not terrible. Final rating. I'm gonna give Jetfire an 8 out of 10, and I give Ironhide a 9 out of 10. So, yeah. I found these at a collectibles shop, and Jetfire was about 25, but I had a coupon that dropped him to 20, and Ironhide was around 20. So, yeah. For 20 bucks a pop, you cannot go wrong. If you see these guys at a collectible shop or on eBay or some site that sells nostalgic toys, these guys are totally worth getting. If you can get these guys, that's awesome. If you could only get one, I definitely recommend Ironhide. But of course, Jetfire's not horrible, and he's still worth getting, so... But of course, it's your taste, your money. Buy whichever one appeals to your vanity. Or something of that nature. So, this has been my review of Energon, Ironhide, and Jetfire. What did you think of these figures? If you liked this review, please shamash that like button. If you loved this review, make sure to shamash that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell icon so you get those email notifications every time I post, go live, or otherwise. If you didn't like this video, go F yourself. Anyway. So anyway, that is my review of these guys, and until next time, folks, thank you so much for watching, take care, and have a good one.